Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dancing Philosopher episode 3. I hope you're all doing okay in isolation. Do remember to check out the article written for this episode, which is on how philosophy can improve your sex life. Who would have thought, huh? Anyway, so today we've changed scenery and we're in my glamorous kitchen. Shouldn't change anything. It's glamorous after all. And in response to some feedback, I just want to reiterate why I think I'm doing this. I'm doing this because, and you can read it in the About page, I went through a period of isolation about 2 years ago for other personal reasons. I couldn't do my dancing routines, I couldn't compete, I couldn't practice with a partner, and I just ended up doing drills in my house, in my kitchen, in other people's houses and kitchens and so on. It was a very rough period in my life. But by the time I emerged from it, these drills could actually do something that I did not expect. I came across this by mistake, right? Every time I went out dancing afterwards to whatever music, I just felt that I could speak the language of my body. You know, I could dance to whatever music that I wanted. And since the whole world is more or less in isolation now, I just thought I'd share these treats with you so that you can have something to look forward to. So by the time you've left isolation, you can become a better dancer. Now, who doesn't want to be a better dancer, okay? And I'm not talking about learning steps. This is basically just a few tools and tricks that will make you look good on the dance floor, that will make you feel good, and most importantly, you can dance and practice to this, to whatever music you like, okay? So that's why I am doing this. Now, today we're going to carry on with the theme of dancing without steps. Now, this is important because, for those of us who want to go out and learn how to dance salsa and to dance hip hop, etc., there's lots of steps and there's lots of movement around the floor. But when you actually go out with your mates and have fun in clubs and in parties and stuff, it's usually quite crowded, okay? And you don't actually have room to practice or to show what you've learned in these lessons. That's why part of these drills are basically how do you look good when you're in a squashed little club and everyone's around you and you're just left having as much fun as you can in a very squashed environment. And I'm just going to show you actually you can look very good when you're in a very close environment. And we're going to carry on with that theme today. And episode 1, I taught you a bit about the high hip movement. I'm going to move back. The high hip movement, how you can loosen up your hips. And then last episode we did a bit on the upper body. Today, we're actually going to bring these two together, okay? And I'm going to teach you the difference between doing this, swinging from side to side, to doing this. Bum, 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 bum. Again, a small difference in technique makes an enormous difference to the eye. You feel better, you look better. It makes an enormous difference to how much you enjoy your time dancing. So I'm going to move back a bit again so that you can see the full, as much of my body as I can. So rather than having our feet apart, like the last 2 episodes, we're going to keep them together. And if we're going to start with our lower body, the first thing we're going to do is rotate our hip back. Now take any hip you want. I'm going to do my left. And I'm going to move it back so that I'm sitting very comfortably on it, like so. Now we all know how to sit on our hips. We stand and we take a pose like this when we're waiting for someone or arguing with our partners or whatever. We know how to sit on our hips, right? This time you're just doing it with your feet together and rotating your hip backwards. Not sideways like this, but backwards, right? And once you're comfortably there, you just make sure you're nice and comfortable sitting on your hip. You'll find that your other knee has just popped out and popped forward. This is perfectly natural and that's all good, okay? We are going to switch this by basically rotating, putting this other knee back and bringing that other one forward so that we get to sit on the other hip, okay? And that's basic enough. Going from this side to the other, to the other, and to the other. Now we're not moving to the side like that. We're moving back, okay? Now, the reason why you should go back until you feel just a bit of a strain, not too far, you don't want to injure yourself, is because the more you do this, the more you begin to loosen up your hips so you can do whatever you want on the dance floor, okay? Part of these drills are in loosening up our body, okay? So, once we know how to do a few of those, we are on our way, and now we can add it to the upper body. Now, the upper body, And in our last episode, we learned how to go from side to side. This time, we are literally just going to poke out our chest forward. Like so. One side, then the other, then the other, then the other. Not alongside like so, but forward. Okay? Forward, 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 forward. Now you need to really press so that your rib feels like it's pressing on the corner of your skin, and then bring it back and then do the other side. Now let's bring those two together. Basically, every time one hip goes back, the opposite chest goes forward. And it's actually more natural than it looks. If you think about every time you walk, like so, this hip is back. Which side is forward? The opposite side chest is forward. Same step that way. We don't walk like this, okay? We walk like this. It's natural. We're going to do that by standing still. Remember, we're not taking any steps. So every time you rotate your hip back, you press the opposite chest forward until you're like that. Now you should feel a nice good stretch. It's a diagonal. That's what we call a diagonal in ballroom Manhattan. I'm just trying to keep my balance. And you've got a nice look there. And then once you bring it back to the center and rotate your hip back on the other way, your knee is forward and your the other chest should go forward like so. And if we do 5 of these, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. It doesn't matter where your hands are. They could be like so. They could be down. They could be forward. We're going to get into styling in another episode. But that's a drill. If you basically do 10 of those, 20 times, no, sorry, not 20 times. If you do 2 to 3 sets of 10 in a day, that will loosen you up and you look a lot better on the dance floor. So, hope that drill helps for today and see you in episode 4. Toodles! Mwah.